Happy New Year! Oh, it's not? Oh. Happy MLK Day! I had a video planned for goal setting, which I may still record, and all these plans to do other videos, and then I got the plague. But before we get into that, I did want to mention that I went to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada for their Krampuslauf, and I had a really good time. It wasn't as cold as it has been in the past. I think they did their second lauf. I could be wrong, but one of their laufs they did when it was minus 38 degrees. So I was thankful that it only was around zero. And it was really funny because I haven't walked on ice in years. So I'm just like, I don't even know. I look like a penguin trying to walk on the ice. It was quite amusing to my friend. So getting into Canada was fun because I had been pulled for the, the security check, whatever, customs. That's it. So I was pulled along with a couple other people, and I had packed my Krampuslauf costume, which, one does when you go to Edmonton to do Krampuslauf. So when they opened my luggage, it kind of just was like, it just kind of exploded out. It was pretty funny. And the agent says to me, "Oh, well, what are you going to do while you're up here? Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I'm visiting my friend." And they said, "Oh, all right, well, where did you meet this friend?" And I said, a convention." "Oh, okay, what kind of convention?" I was trying to skirt the issue, but then I said, "Well, HearseCon." "Oh, what's that?" "Well, it's a convention for people that drive hearses." And then I thought that they weren't going to allow me to bring my Yule Bach in, which are little Yule goats made out of straw, but mine were made out of raffia that you can get at Michael's. But I was worried because it was plant material, and it wasn't any kind of container that said raffia on it because I had made them. I was worried. They were going to confiscate them or not let me in. Anyway, everything was fine. I think the customs agent was amused by my exploding luggage and hearse story. And I got in, and we did the lauf, and I made it back to the States, and yay! That was the 5th. I came back. The 5th was their lauf, their hardcore. They do their Krampuslauf on the 5th. Rain or shine. Well, snow, whatever. And I think they're the only people in the world that actually strictly do their lauf on the 5th. So, now moving along to the next story, a lot of, people this time of year catch the flu or colds and stuff. And my roommate did. And she was really, really sick. And I didn't get it. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, I dodged a bullet. This is awesome. I'm not going to get sick this year. I'm not going to be sick. Yeah." And then we went over to my mother-in-law's house. And we brought with us a game that I like to call Katamari. If you've ever played that video game, it's where you roll up cities and people in the world and everything. It's kind of cute. But I call this the Katamari game because what you do is you get little toys or knickknacks or whatever, and you roll them up in saran wrap. And then to play the game, you have to find the end of the saran wrap and you pull it, but you can't tear it. You have to pull it from the end, and then whatever pops out is yours to keep. So, toys, candy, yada yada. Well, while this is a fun little game to play, it's also a good way to pass germs. So while I was at my mother-in-law's, the little children, or what I like to call them, the little germ factories, passed their germs on to me and made me horribly ill. So the 29th was, when we began with the peak horrible blah. And that's when I got a text from the stables. You might be wondering what stables. Well, I have a horse, as in the four-legged creature that eats hay and stuff. Yeah, I don't know why I've never mentioned it on this channel before, but I do actually own a horse, and I got a text from the stable saying, hey, your horse is bleeding. And so I have my roommate drive me out to the stables because I was so sick I don't even think I could have driven. But there's nothing quite like the sight of gore to kind of make you feel better. I don't know. This was awful. She managed to give herself or contract cellulitis, which is something that humans get as well. And what it is a bacterial infection of the deeper layers of skin. So usually you get poked or cut or something, and it's enough to, the bacteria goes deep enough that they find this nice little anaerobic atmosphere that's warm and squishy, and they just like, ooh, and they breed and they puff everything up, and it's something that can swell up in a crazy amount just overnight, just in a matter of a few hours even. So I called the vet out, and she came out at 11 o'clock at night, and we dosed the horse up with antibiotics, and I am going out with once a day now, washing her up with antibacterial soap and putting Biozide gel, which is like a betadine gel, which looks like freaking congealed blood, honestly. But I'm putting that on her, and she's recovering very well. So I don't. She's not gonna get lame, I don't think, unless for some reason this comes back. But this happened all on the 29th, and it's now the Martin Luther King Day, so I think we're good to go. What is that, the 15th? Yeah. So I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be fine. But this is something that usually they get in their back legs, and she got it on her chest. So the vet thinks she got bit by something. I don't know. I figure she just cut herself or poked herself on something because, pretty much any fence is not a perfect fence. So they all have little things hanging out on them or whatever, no matter how diligently you go through and try to remove any things that could poke or scratch them. So she's doing well. I have decided not to post pictures because I don't know if anyone wants to see this. It's pretty gruesome. But this does bring up another thing, that this channel will have changes this year. Hopefully this year. Theoretically, if everything goes as planned, we'll be moving into the house that you've been seeing us build in June. I mean, granted, with the way we've been doing it, it'll be November, but theoretically in June. And this is the house we're building. We're building it all ourselves. That's why it's taken 2 years to build. And it's going to be off-grid, and we're going to have animals. We're going to have, livestock. We're going to have rabbits, chickens, pigs, goats. And hopefully my waffle doesn't spring this all on me at once. Hopefully there will be a ramp-up phase of getting animals, and he's going to be the farmer. And then, yeah. Just watching some of these videos, I'm just going to be stooped over putting seedlings in the ground for 6 months out of the year. So we'll see how that goes, but probably going to do some more videos on homesteading and farming and that kind of stuff. So hopefully you stick around for that. But don't worry, the hearse videos and all that crazy stuff won't be going anywhere. And neither will the Celtic mythology or the whatever mythology I decide to talk about. Not just Celtic. That's not going anywhere either. Just making a few additions. Hope you stick around for that. And with that, Happy New Year, Happy MLK Day, and good night, America, wherever you are.